Today, we're going to demystify Arduino. It's this small but really powerful tool that has completely opened up the world of electronics for pretty much everyone, from artists to engineers. If you've ever had a cool idea for a gadget but just had no idea where to even start, then this is for you. So this little blue board right here, this is an Arduino Uno, and it's literally the brain behind countless inventions. We're talking everything from robots that can solve a Rubik's Cube to interactive art that reacts when you walk by. This is where it all begins. It's a single-board microcontroller, which is really just a fancy way of saying it's a tiny computer that you can program to control just about anything you can dream up. Have you ever thought of a cool gadget, maybe a plant that waters itself or a light show that syncs up to your favorite music? And then you just stop and think, nah, I could never build that. Well, that's exactly why Arduino was created. It's a simple, affordable tool designed to bring those ideas to life, and you absolutely do not need an engineering degree to get started. So what's the secret sauce here? What makes Arduino so successful and so different? It's not just about the hardware. It's the whole philosophy behind it. It's all about being open source. And trust me, that one little idea changes everything. The entire Arduino world really stands on two powerful pillars: open source software and open source hardware. This whole idea of sharing everything freely is what makes it so revolutionary. So let's start with the software side. The program you use to write your code, the Arduino IDE, is totally open source. Anyone can use it, you can look under the hood and see exactly how it works, and you can even add new features to it. And since it's based on a language called C++, there is a huge library of free code out there you can use. And then there's the hardware. The actual blueprints for the Arduino board itself are public. They're available for anyone to see. That means anyone can legally build their own version. They can tweak the design, they can improve it, and then share those improvements with the world. And this has just led to an explosion of all kinds of different Arduino-compatible boards. Okay, so what does all this open source stuff actually mean for you? Well, for one, it's cheap to get started. You can often get an official board for less than $50. This software runs on pretty much any computer out there: Windows, Mac, Linux, you name it. And maybe most importantly, you have this massive global community to learn from, with endless tutorials, code libraries, and cool new hardware to check out. All right, now let's get up close and personal with the board itself. I know, it might look a little intimidating with all those pins and chips, but we're going to break down the key parts to show you just how simple it really is. Here it is, the Arduino Uno in all its glory. We're not going to go through every single tiny component, don't worry. Instead, we'll just focus on the three main parts you'll actually be using to bring your projects to life. Okay, see that big chip right in the center? That is the AT-Mega microcontroller. This is the absolute brains of the operation. It's where your code lives, and it's where all the magic happens, as it follows every single instruction you give it. Next up, the USB port. This is your lifeline to the board. It's how you give it power, and it's how you upload your code, or sketches as they're called in the Arduino world. It's your direct line of communication to the brain. And finally, these rows of pins along the edges, this is where the real action is. These are the input/output, or I/O pins. This is how your Arduino actually interacts with the physical world. You connect everything here: lights, motors, sensors, buttons, you name it. This is where your code becomes reality. Okay, let's talk about the code. Now, if you've never written a line of code in your entire life, don't sweat it. Arduino programming is designed to be super simple and intuitive, and it's all built around one really simple core idea. Every single Arduino program has two parts that you absolutely have to have: setup and loop. The setup part runs just one time, right when you power on the board. It's perfect for getting everything ready. And then the loop function runs over and over and over again forever. This is where you put the main actions of your project. It's really that simple. So just to recap that flow, you power it on, it runs the setup code one time, and then it just keeps running the loop code forever and ever. That's the entire life cycle of an Arduino program. It's a really simple structure, but it's incredibly powerful for creating all sorts of complex behaviors. So now that you've got the basics down, let's talk about how to hit the ground running. We've got some fantastic advice from maker and educator Becky Stern on the 3 most common mistakes beginners make, and, more importantly, how you can avoid them. The first mistake? Yeah, it's one we've all been guilty of at some point. Look, don't try to build a spaceship on your first day. Big complex projects are really just a bunch of small, simple projects working together. So break your big idea down. Just try to get one motor spinning. Then just try to get one sensor to give you a reading. Master those small parts before you try to put them all together.
All right, on to the second common pitfall. This one usually pops up when you're trying to combine all those small parts.
When something isn't working, it's so tempting to just blame the code, but you've got to be a detective. Is everything plugged in correctly? Is that little LED on the right pin? Are you sure your power and ground wires are in the right place? You have to check your hardware just as carefully as you check your code.
And the third piece of advice is the one that's probably going to save you the most time and frustration in the long run. Seriously, you are not in this alone. The official Arduino website is just packed with amazing resources, including a reference guide that explains every single command. And the community forums, they are an absolute gold mine of information. Chances are, whatever problem you're having, somebody else has already had it and solved it. So don't ever be afraid to ask for help. You know, this quote from David Mellis, one of Arduino's co-founders, really just says it all. Arduino is an enabler. It's a key that unlocks this whole world of electronics, empowering you to build the things that you've always imagined.
So there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the world of Arduino. We've covered the basics, from the hardware to the code, and how you can get started on your own creative journey. Now the only question left is, what are you going to build first?